Hello, my name is Thomas.
My name is Sonia.
I'm Eugenie.
My name is Clea.
And I'm Roberto. We are Team 11.1, the revenue management team of Daddy's Home Hotel.
Daddy's Home is an 80-year-old full-service hotel in the city center with a waterfront view. The hotel has a total of 250 rooms, 50 premiums and 200 standards. There is a 125-seat restaurant with adjoining seating bar lounge, a conference room of 2,000 square feet, which is able to accommodate up to 200 people, and a small pool with an outdoor recreation area. We offer many kinds of services including parking, guest room and dry cleaning, guest room entertainment and phone, and room service. Daddy's Hotel accommodates mainly business customers, which can be seen from our hotel's higher occupancy during weekdays. However, it also attracts leisure guests, especially during the summer, which is the high season. Speaking of hotel's target segments, we focus on 3 of the discounted segments. On the guaranteed only during weekdays, the tour only during weekends, as they are forecast to be profitable towards the end of the year. We also focus on bar standard guests and small groups due to the high forecasted weekend demand. This year, to try to get ahead of the competition and generate more revenue from ancillary services, we have supported the addition of a retail shop, travel and tour desk, valet parking and a fitness center. As such, our facilities are similar to our competitors except from our fitness center. That's where we differentiate ourselves. Regarding pricing, we have analyzed our pricing decisions from a previous year. We have chosen to use competition-based pricing strategy. With that, we have opted a surrounding positioning strategy to further differentiate our hotels from others.
These were our fundamental decisions for the year. Regarding the request for proposals, we decided to decline every single one of them, as large groups were not part of our target market. Our focus was more on transient and small groups. In addition to this, for every RFP we received, there were additional aspects that negated their worth for our hotel. Therefore, we decided to adopt a high pricing strategy for RFPs, which, if accepted, would have made them worth it. For our marketing investments, what we observed throughout the year, as you can see in this graph, is that no matter how much we invested in rooms advertising, the revenue generated in accordance was higher than the initial investment. However, as there was no benchmark or previous average to refer to allocating the room advertising, we did not invest in the optimal amount needed to be successful. Our investments were very volatile. For terms of distribution channel management, we initially chose not to work with wholesalers as we wanted to emphasize on the direct approach for our targeted markets, to build a stronger customer relationship. We wanted our customers to realize contracting our hotel directly would ensure them the best deals and packages. Overall, we clearly focused on direct distribution. However, we also enlisted the help of OTAs and GDSs to gain recognition. As the year progressed and wholesale business would become more relevant, we adjusted the percentage allocations accordingly. That strategy proved very efficient as the direct channel provided by far the most revenue. In reality, however, a discrepancy between rates found in direct and indirect channels, as big as the ones we provided our distribution channels with, would be hard to prove successful. Distribution channels increase a hotel's visibility greatly, helping them to reach certain markets. By not giving them rate parity, they will start to find the hotel.
The year-to-date GOP is 35.58%, which is well above the minimum of 25% expected by the owner and better than the last 3 years. The year-to-date ROE is 4.63%. The first 3 months ROEs were negative, so even though we did better as the year progressed, it was not enough to reach owners' expectation of having a year-to-date ROE in excess of 8%. The decision of building the fitness center was to differentiate Daddy's Home from competition and to create value for our customers, and apparently we did not do enough to satisfy them on this level. Concerning the ADR, the owner's goal at the beginning of the year was to have it equal or higher than competition. However, our year-to-date ADR is of $172, which is $7 lower than the ComSet's ADR average. Although we were not far, we did not reach the objective. The bar is naturally the segment which contributes most to our profit. It is one of the biggest segments, and we targeted them for this goal. Throughout the year, the highest rate efficiency we observed was of 99.73%. It was for the month of October. The rest of the year hovered mostly within the 90% range, which was not bad either, but we cannot state for sure and we do not know the competition's rate efficiencies. We calculated that in the competitive set, the average market share per hotel is 12.5%. We therefore benchmarked our year-to-date market share for our target segment according to this average percentage. We were successful in getting a higher than ComSet average market share for all our target markets. The best month for the API was obviously in January, as our rates for this month were too low and thus attracted many customers. Except for the 3-month July, August and October, the index remained above 1. Our year-to-date ARI value is highly influenced by the beginning of the simulation, where our rates were clearly too low, thus preventing us from having a competitive ADR. Yearly, we can observe that ARI and RGI often go in the same direction. Like for the ARI, the first 2 months of the simulation were particularly hard on the RGI index, which remained under 1.
Regarding our reputation management, at the beginning of the simulation, Daddy's Home carefully selected the services it felt necessary. However, after the first quarter, we realized that the competition was doing better in terms of reputation management, and most enlisted all services possible but constantly. As a result, we decided to follow. This definitely improved our reputation management. By the end of the year, we started running out of money to renovate, clean, or invest. We saw that our competitors were also in the same situation. Thanks to the environmental program, we ended on a lighter note.
The price in February increased a lot, while occupancy in February did not increase as expected. By the end of the first quarter, we made a slight change in the weight allocation as we realized OTAs were making a loss instead of a profit contribution. Therefore, we swapped the percent distribution between GDS and OTAs, as GDS cost less but would still provide us with recognition. Also, in the first quarter, we focused on investing in facilities, services, and marketing, which we consider were the most important to gain an edge in the competitive set. For marketing, our investment increased significantly after the first month, as we understood that our investment was significantly lower than our competitors, and from the comment we received from our guest response about poor advertising. We also eliminated the rate reduction as we didn't want to give an image of discounting on already low prices in comparison to our market. The occupancy throughout the second quarter increased, peaking in June, showing a potential for a good high season. The ADR also increased throughout the quarter, making our market share for occupancy, ADR, and RevPAR above 1, which is great news. Throughout the second quarter, we only changed the channel management in the first month, April. In this change, we attributed yet more weight to direct, as we expected small group business on weekends to increase in the coming month. And we reduced the percentage of bookings required to increase rates down to 70%, as we realized we most likely not reach 85% occupancy. Regarding refurnishment, we had enlisted contract cleaning services for front desk, restaurant, meeting rooms, and associate facilities, as we understood that our guests value hygiene and top quality service. We also did soft goods refurbishments in bar lounge, parking grounds, pools, environmental programs, lobby and public areas, and meeting rooms to improve our image, as last year no major facelifts were conducted.
Regarding the third quarter, we tried to keep transient small groups on weekend and tour through wholesale rates attractive, as the demand was expected to be high and not to lose them to competition. In changing the rate to use for August, we did not have time to update the large group segment. As such, our rate must have been very attractive in comparison to the competition, because our large group occupancy market share drastically increased from 5% to 30%. This was not our intention. To rectify this, we increased the large group price a lot by 24% during weekdays and by 15% during weekends in comparison to the previous month. We also decreased the amount by which we raised the rate for premium business, as we did not want to deter them as much as before, but still had to adjust allocation more on OTAs and less on direct, since we did not manage to attract enough of them previous month. High season coming to an end, we wanted to keep our reputation up and make sure that the hotel's quality was on point coming into the shoulder season to have the edge over the competition. By the end of the quarter, we conducted soft goods review for lobby, public areas, front desk, restaurants, and the bar lunch, as they did not perform well on reputation management. At the beginning of the third quarter, we included rooms advertising for hotels, as previous years the info stated it would become pertinent in August, mainly for transient and group. However, we quickly realized that it did not bring the expected financial benefits. It also only brought us some large groups, which we did not want, so we reduced the hotels advertising. Later, we realized we allocated the advertising to the wrong segment with hotels. Comparatively, we increased advertising efforts mainly on direct transient, as we slowly lost business from them, overshadowed by groups and tour, which we wanted to change to get more higher paying guests. Regarding the fourth quarter, for October demand decreased, so we adjusted our rates to attract more guests without sacrificing room rates. We removed all wholesale business for group channel and allocated it to direct and GDS. At the time for wholesale business was over according to this year's projections. In November, we wanted to save some money and therefore did not invest in any reviews, which had a negative impact on our reputation management. Since we didn't receive any comments for social media as our advertising, knowing it was low season, but with the Christmas spike, we wanted to make Daddy's Home more visible. Therefore, we invested more into advertising, especially direct, because now that it was clear we generated the most profit from direct businesses.
Let's move on to the analysis and to what we actually found at the end of the year. We managed well to even out any weekend and weekday seasonalities from January till April, as you can see on the graph. First, biggest discrepancies arose in May. The RFP for 2,800 room nights during the month of May increased the weekday demand during weeks. However, we did not take that into consideration and left many of the rates where they were in April. Due to the planned cultural and sporty events at the new Civic Center, the weekend demand increased in June. This directly translated into our occupancy rate, where weekend occupancy surpassed weekday occupancy in percentages. All in all, the total occupancy rate varies from 54% in the lowest month, January, to 72% in the highest month, August. In order to change our rates, we always calculated in percentage increases and decreases. However, we did not always take into consideration that price discrepancy from segment to segment as well as from distribution channel to distribution channel would only increase that way. This is why we see rates, especially from the premium and package segment, rising high enough to scare away clients at the middle of the year especially. Taking RFPs into consideration would have allowed us to adapt our rates and to capture that additional demand as well. Revenue, GDP and net profit moved together with the season. A major cut and outlier happened in February, as you can see as well on this graph. Due to huge marketing investments during that month, we made a big loss, but recovered quickly due to the higher room rates, occupancy and guest attraction thanks to those same marketing investments. The revenue generated by the various segments remained quite stable throughout the year. Specifically, the guaranteed segment brought slightly more business during the week, as targeted by Daddy's Home. The qualified segment was constant and low in contribution and actually increased during the months in which we lost revenue from the packages. Contracts had a rather steady demand and steady occupancy at our hotel, as expected. Tours contributed to the occupancy of our hotel mostly during weekends. To sum up, our indexes fluctuated throughout the year of operations, our occupancy being the most volatile compared to the market, going above and below the composite average. In May, for the first time, all our indexes resulted above 100, showing great improvements for the first part of the year. However, from April to July, we got too aggressive in our pricing and could not catch the higher demand. In November, we lost some ADR in favor of occupancy because we wanted to be able to increase the rates again for the Christmas period. This was a rather bad decision, as we completely disregarded the increased demand due to the RFP in November and lost RGI.
Regarding our short-term recommendations for Daddy's Hotel, we would re-evaluate our choices for channel management distribution in order to attract the right guests, as our price-value position has always fallen short of the target we've wanted and expected to have. For the long term, if the revenue were to have gone up again, we would have invested more into rooms renovations. This has been Team 11.1, the revenue management team for Daddy's Home Hotel.